Over here, we want to introduce to you some of the broad regulatory principles that's being applied all over the world. Okay. At this point, I also want to stress the difference between objectives and principles. Just now we went through the three core objectives of regulations, and objectives are states that we want to achieve, right? So the difference in having a principle is on the how to do it. So how are we going to reach those objectives? By going through certain principles, right? So these are the principles. The first on the list is integrity. This is referring to conducting business with integrity. Slightly different from the core objective of financial regulations of market integrity, which is of a much bigger scale, right? This integrity we are talking about is focused. It's sort of like a subset, right? To dive into each financial institution's business to make sure that they conduct their business with integrity. Second on the list is client interest. Having the highest regard for its clients, for the financial institution's clients, their assets, and the relationship of trust between the financial institution and their clients. This is an important principle to follow because in many businesses, the sole interest is always, the bottom line, profits, right? So when we have such a principle, we want to make sure that the business is conducted with the client's interest so that we can raise, right, the confidence level of the consumers themselves. Okay. Next, we have management and control. This is talking about organizing and controlling the financial institution's affairs effectively. You need to have a good manager. You need to really control your business properly, right? So that you can tackle any difficulties along the way that your financial institution is facing. Okay. The fourth one is openness and transparency. When we talk about openness and transparency, we are talking about being open and transparent about business arrangement, including communication between the financial institution and their client. All right, so that the clients are comfortable with how the business is conducting their the financial institution are conducting their business. The next one is financial prudence. I think we also talk about that a little bit. It means to say that they are maintaining adequate financial resources such that they are well prepared for any undesirable event that comes, right? So we talk about capital limits before, and these are the resources that they set aside to make sure that they remain safe, right, in times of difficulties. The next one is risk management. We have to make sure that these financial institutions have adequate risk management system, right? They are able to detect all these risks and make adjustments so that when things happen again, then they are ready for it. Other than that, they also need to have a very robust system. They are required to have robust system and procedures in place so that when things happen and when they are conducting their business, it does not fail easily, right? That is the main thing, right? It does not fail easily. Next one is the relationships with regulators. This is an interesting one because the regulators would want the financial institutions to be able to cooperate with them well, right? So when the regulators need something, right, and when they need some kind of measures to be put in place, some kind of procedures, some kind of audit, well, the financial institution is there, right, cooperate, and everything can run smoothly, right? On the other hand, it's also for the financial institution, right, to be able to conduct their business to the best of their ability with the proper regulations and the proper regulators support, right, for them. The next one is market conduct. This principle is pretty important. It is really there so that the business are observing proper standards, all right, of their business conduct. The last on the list is conflict of interest. You will hear me talk about conflict of interest many rounds in the subsequent topics because conflict of interest is one of the very sensitive and very important piece of principle for financial institution to adhere to, right? Financial institutions are expected to manage this conflict interest fairly, right? Both itself and its customer, as well as between customers, right? When we go through security market abuse in the subsequent topics, then I think when we talk more about conflict interest, I think this will be much easier to understand. Okay, so these are the broad regulatory principles that most regulators are using.